Are you aware that 70%, and please quote it well, because this is very important. Do you know that 70%, that is 7 out of 10, of all conflicts in Africa are actually caused because of bad use of the tongue? In Africa, we know that political speeches that have been recklessly been made have actually been a major contributor to violence in Africa. And because our politicians have been reckless, no wonder we are not anywhere close in aiding fighting as long as we have that kind of reckless speaking. The church leaders in the on the same have not been left behind, given that some of them have propelled false doctrines, and even parents, because of their recklessness, they have used long words and they have wounded their children and they fractured their children's future thanks to careless words. But again, we know that words can do several things. They can heal, they can restore and unite. And the good book, that is Proverbs 18 verse 21, the Bible says the tongue. Please mark this: the tongue has the power of life and death. And today I want us to do something very important. We shall cover 10 ways in which leaders can use their tongues very well. In other words, 10 better ways in which leaders can use their tongue very well. But before that, let's provide a recap. But please consider subscribing and giving this video thumbs up if and shares a comment on what you like. But let's give a quick recap. We've been talking about 10 types of destructive tongues in leadership. The first one that we talked about is a lying tongue. Lying tongue is when politicians make false promises, and when church leaders will twist doctrine to the members. Flattering tongue is the second type of tongue that we discussed. It's leaders who say what people want to hear rather than telling them the truth and causing false sense of security or hope. Then there is the third one. It's what we call proud tongue. A proud tongue is a leader who refuses to reason or fails to apologize or to admit mistakes, and this leader basically falls into the destruction. You have the fourth type of tongue that we discussed, is called the overused tongue. This is where a leader talks too much but actually ends up saying nothing of value, and actually this weakens the leadership influence. We have what we call soft tongue. Swift tongue is when you speak before thinking, and this leads to neglect and broken relationship. We have the sixth type of tongue that we discussed. This is backbiting tongue. This is where it involves backbiting, or rather gossiping and slandering. This is divisive in churches and families, and also in the nation. Then seventh, we talked about the cursing tongue. Cursing tongue is when leaders speak negatively over people and they crush their potential. We have the eighth type of tongue, which is piercing tongue. This is harsh criticism without love that actually breaks the heart and demoralizes others. The ninth type of a tongue is a talkative tongue. This is speaking when one should be reasoning, and this actually brightens a leader and makes him look foolish. Then we talked about the argumentative and the swearing tongue, and these are leaders who engage in unnecessary fight and lose respect. If you do want to hear more about those 10 types of tongue, please do not hesitate to go to our YouTube channel, that is Marketplace Media, and please consider giving these videos thumbs up. Please remember, we still continue saying that words can either tear down or bring down. Now let's go to discussing 10 practical ways in which leaders can use their tongue wisely. In other words, let's talk about 10 better ways in which leaders can be able to use their tongue well. The 10th one is very important. Please remember, if you don't subscribe to this channel, you'll never find us again, and this wonderful content you shall miss it. So we are at this point in time of this video, I encourage you to go and give this video thumbs up and subscribe so that every time when you upload a new video, YouTube will be able to notify you. Now, what are the 10 better ways of using our tongue as leaders? Number one, we need to speak truth with the integrity. This is the quickest way in which we are going to earn trust. In Proverbs 12:22, when we lie, we need to remember that lies have a very short life, but you need to remember that truth builds long-term credibility. In whether we are in politics or whether we are in churches, we must avoid making false promises, and parents need to be reminded of keeping their word of their mouth. Otherwise, a truthful leader, we need to remember, is a trusted leader. Nelson Mandela is one of the leaders who teaches us the need to speak the truth with integrity. We know the reason behind why he is respected is because he always spoke honestly about South Africa's struggles and solutions. He never tried to hype, he never tried to distort the figures. He basically talked truth to the South Africans about their struggles. Number two, is speak to inspire and to encourage, and this is one of the quickest ways in which you're going to build people. A leader's word should do what? They should ignite hope and not fear. We need to speak life to our team, our congregation, the family. What should be used to uplift, not to tear down. Once if you want to kill an athlete, then speak discouraging words. If you tell an athlete you are hopeless, instead of telling them keep pushing, you're going to make it, you are almost there, you can be assured that athlete will quit running. So we are saying in leadership, let's speak words that inspire, encourage, because this is one of the ways in which you're going to build people. Thirdly, we need to use our tongue to unite, not to divide. In other words, we need to plant seeds of unity and togetherness. Now, history has actually shown that reckless words, what do? They fuel wars, they fuel conflict, but again, wise words actually brings about reconciliation. It is very important for us in our speeches, in our day-to-day conversation, that we avoid tribalism and favoritism and any divisive type of language. In other words, we need to speak unity to the families, we need to preach unity in our churches, and so the nation. Do you remember that hate speech? Do you know, by the way, that hate speech has contributed to 70% of post-election violence in Africa? 70% of post-election violence has been due to hate speech. And so we need to be careful that we use our tongues to unite, not to divide. Number 4, very, very important. We need to reason before speaking. And this is the advice that James gives in James chapter 1 verse 19. Because this is the quickest way in which you're going to gain wisdom. A leader, and a wise leader for that matter, always reason before, and they reason more than they speak. Before giving advice, before giving instruction, before sharing instruction, it is very important that you sit and reason. Before making a judgment, please seek and understanding. Pause before you speak. A father who reasons before disciplining his children, actually what he does is he eliminates a misunderstanding and actually strengthens trust. Number 5, collect with grace, not with condemnation. And this is one of the ways in which you're going to inspire growth. Criticism without encouragement actually kills motivation. We are encouraging us to correct in love. Instead of saying you are a failure, you can rephrase that and say, I believe you can do better. A teacher who encourages struggling students and help them to improve will actually create an education system, or will be able to create in the students' trust. And these students will not easily give up. They will not be covered by shame, but they will still keep on trying. Number 6, speak vision, not just complain. In other words, we are saying give direction. Leaders must remember that they are there to provide solutions. The reason why God has placed you where He has placed you is because you are a solution finder. So, as a leader, instead of pointing out problems, you need to go out there and share out solutions. If you do not have a solution to a problem, you better keep quiet. Instead of complaining about what's wrong, instead of complaining of things that are not working, please think about a clear vision on what can be done. This is what Dr. Martin King Luther said. He says, racism is bad. He declared, I have a dream. He did not just say racism is bad. He went ahead and said, I have a dream. Number 7, very important, better uses of our tongue as leaders is apologize when wrong. Apologize when wrong, because this is a sure way of restoring relationships. And leaders who do not admit mistakes, will not be respected. They will not be followed. It's a quick hack when, as a leader, you learn to admit your mistake, because people will respect you. Parents, more especially, and also leaders should apologize to their children, and pastors also need to apologize to their congregations, and even more important, our politicians should apologize to the citizens when they go wrong. You see, and this is supported by statistics, because it said that 75% of public trust is gained when leaders apologize. When a leader apologizes, 75% of public trust is actually gained. And this can be compared with 30% who lose it when they deny wrongdoing. So it is very important that we apologize when wrong. Number 8, very powerful, avoid gossip and slander. And this is something that we are taught in Proverbs 16 verse 28, because this is the surest way in which you are able to protect relationships. Stop spreading rumors, because when you spread rumors, what they do, they destroy, they damages relationships, they destroy reputations, they destroy trust. If someone comes to you and asks you, have you spoken, have you heard about this? Please ask them, have you spoken to that person directly about this? This is going to be a sure way of shutting down gossip before it spread. Many churches have spread at the altar of gossip because leaders have allowed gossip instead of stopping a gossip. Number 9, speak in love even in conflict. And this is the surest way of maintaining respect. A leader who speaks calmly, without shouting, is sure to attract respect than one who yells and throws insults. In disagreements, and even when you're rebuking somebody, it is very important that you learn to intentionally and deliberately lower your voice instead of raising it. And again, instead of insulting the person, learn to use facts instead of insults. When two politicians are debating, and we've seen this, when the one who shouts insults, loses the battle and actually does not win the hearts of the citizens. The one who presents calmly the point is the one who gains the point and likely to be elected. Number 10, we are saying for you to be able to use your tongue better, pray before you speak. Pray before you speak. In other words, we are saying ask the Lord, ask God's wisdom. Every word spoken should be aligned to God's will. Before addressing a congregation, before addressing employees, before addressing your family, before addressing people, take a moment and ask the Lord to help you to use the right words. And this is what Jesus actually did. Many times he would spend time in prayer so that he would seek God's direction before he spoke. Brothers and sisters, this is Marketplace Media, an online platform that engages, equips, and encourages believers to say, inawezekana. Today, we've learned 10 ways in which we can be able to use our tongues well. We are saying, speak truth, inspire others, use speech that will unite other people, and lead with integrity. Dear leaders, we encourage you to start from today to use our tongue wisely. Speak life, not death. Build up, don't tear down. Let your words reflect the leadership that you desire. We encourage you to drop a comment. Please let us know which of these 10 points spoke to you most. And thank you very much for being part of this session. Please share this message, leave it out. Let's read with words that heal, not harm. This is Marketplace Media. My name is John Kimani. Until next time when we meet, remember, we say inawezekana.